I hope you're enjoying these videos, and I hope this channel is making a difference for you. Today, let's talk about energetic situations to avoid. I know this cannot always be possible, but if you can, there are 3 situations that I would say try to avoid at all costs, especially in the beginning of your TBI. These energetic situations can really drain you, and you're already working with limited energy, limited patience, and just limited capabilities. For me, it was a real struggle in the beginning, and it's something I have really had to learn, that I need to be very mindful of the situations I put myself in, or even of the situations that are around me, and try to find a way around them, or try to find a way to avoid them. So let's talk about the 3 situations I think you should avoid. And the first one will be always consistently having to explain your TBI to people. Sometimes I know this is a difficult one, and we feel like we always have to be explaining ourselves as to why we can't do something, why we're feeling the way we're feeling, why we didn't show up the other day, why we forgot about something, and the list goes on. What happens when we continually do this is it's not only draining for us, but it's also draining for the other people to have to keep asking. So this was a routine I set up with my friends and family, a chip system, which I talk about in my previous video, decision-making fatigue. You guys might want to check that one out to hear about what the chip system is and to implement some of those strategies to also apply to situations like this. Because I know for myself, having to explain my TBI got real old real quick. And it was really just more disheartening and created a lot of frustration and really plummeted my confidence in just even being social. So I became very introverted because of it. So I would say at all costs, set up a system like the chip system, and there's many others out there, that will help you navigate these waters and simplify it so you don't have to exert so much energy. The second place I would tell you to stay away from, and this one would seem obvious, is overcrowded areas. Wherever there is a lot of people, it can be too much for a brain injury survivor. And if you're a caregiver watching, please take note of that, especially for someone like me who's also hearing impaired. I have a hearing aid back here, and if I'm in a situation where I am in a crowded restaurant where there's music, tons of talking, not only was it tough for my brain, but it was really hard for me because I couldn't hear. Even with a hearing aid, it can all seem very jumbled and made a lot of issues for me, especially in communicating and being social. So if you can, avoid overcrowded areas. This could also apply that when you're going shopping, knowing when the busier times are versus when it's not so crowded. This will really help you energetically not to get so drained so quickly. My third and my final energetic situation that I would say you need to avoid is those hostile and intense environments. Sometimes I know this is hard to do, but if you happen to know that a family member and your sister or brother are fighting, you don't necessarily want to be in that area or around them if that's going on. Same thing with at work. If there's a big dispute and you feel like, I don't want to be a part of this, you can try to pull yourself away from it. Now, it doesn't mean you have to leave, but maybe you can go to another quiet space or another room, or really just not partake in any of those types of things, because it can really be draining, especially on our brains already. Plus, you're feeling, if you're like me, I'm an empath, so I can feel emotions pretty intensely. And so when I go into a room that's already full of hostility, it really affects me. And it was something I had to learn to work with and understand that I need to walk away. Or if somebody is trying to pick a fight with you or just wants to argue with you, we're all humans. We all have bad days. There's plenty of times where I learned to say to people, I'm sorry you feel that way, and remove myself from the situation. I wasn't brushing them off, and I wasn't condescending. It was simply, I don't have the energy to argue and fight with you. If it was a topic I felt like we needed to discuss, then I would come back to it or say to them, I'm sorry you feel that way right now. Can we probably pause this conversation and have this at another time when I have more energy and I'm capable of talking to you about this? The majority of the time, people would say yes. The key to that is making sure that you come back to the conversation and you do have that conversation with that person. Otherwise, they're going to feel very unseen and unheard. And nobody wants that. So those are 3 immediate situations I would say if you can avoid, try to. And if you need more tools about that, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and knowing you like this content, and I will go ahead and create more videos on that. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.